Hello and welcome to this Math in About a Minute video. We're going to be focusing on geometry proofs, specifically triangles. Now I have a longer, more detailed video kind of going over some of the proof process, but the goal of this one is simply just to do a proof and then kind of walk through it, and maybe you can pick up by example. So again, I've gone over this in more detail, but this kind of outlines the basics we have for proofs, how we have to have two columns, one side with our statements, another side with our reasonings. With triangles, we need to be familiar with these letters, and then I have some tips and tricks to kind of help get started and get the ball rolling. So here's the proof we're going to take a look at. We're told that C is the midpoint of AE and DB, and then we need to prove that triangle ACB is congruent to triangle ECD. Okay, we can do that. So first, I'm going to make my two-column proof. I'm going to start by listing out my given, my given information doesn't help me. More what I'm going to do is take a look at what I have and what I can say. So since C is the midpoint of AE, that means that C cuts AE in half. So AC is going to be the same as CE. Likewise, BD is cut in half like that. All right, now what I'm starting to see is some stuff. So I'm going to start writing that down. I have AE is congruent to CE, and I also have BD is congruent to CD. And now, I wasn't given that information. I used the definition of a midpoint to figure that out. So that's my reasoning. If something is a midpoint, it cuts it in half, so those two halves are going to be equal. Now I'm starting to look at my triangle and I'm thinking, what could I do? Well, I see I have two sides. There's nothing I can really do to help me get that third side. So there's nothing that will help me say that these guys are going to be congruent to each other. So I'm going to give up on that. And what I do see is that these angles are going to be congruent because they're vertical angles. And so I'm just going to write that out. Angle ACB is congruent to angle DCE. Why? Because they're vertical angles. Now, I think I've done everything I need to prove my triangles are congruent because I have a side, an angle, and a side. So that's going to be my reason for saying my triangles are congruent. So triangle ACB is congruent to triangle ECD because of side, angle, side. There we go. Good luck with your homework or practice, and let me know if you have any questions.